Welcome, my name is Ed. Today we're going to be starting a new Interloper playthrough. If you're a returning visitor, you probably are wondering something right now. I'll explain that. But first, let's actually just jump straight into it with a new file. We're going to go to Interloper, Firm, I prefer Astrid, and let's go with Cold Fusion for added warmth. Often makes a big difference early game. And let's do stamina bar recharges faster, right? Yeah, let's do efficient machine actually. I don't really use that very often, so let's give it a shot. We'll just call it Interloper 2 for now. I'll come up with a name later. Mysterious geomagnetic storm has brought your plane crashing down into the northern Canadian wilderness. How long can you survive? No one can tell what goes on between the person you were and the person you become. No one can chart that blue and lonely section of hell. There are no maps of the change. You just come out of the other side. Stephen King, The Stand. Okay. So I think I'm in Timberwolf Mountain. This is where the last one started as well. I'm just going to make a beeline for the Mountaineer's Hut. This is actually kind of funny. I recently put up a guide to early game Interloper for people who don't have perfect map knowledge. And it's not a perfect guide, but I was glad to make it. I learned a lot. And I spawned, when I was taking footage for the guide, I spawned right here. So it's kind of funny to now just be here again, back to back with that video. Okay, so there's some acorns up there at that tree. I don't really care about that right now. I'm going to grab some cattails on my way to the Mountaineer's Hut. I'm going to hope to find a hacksaw there. Very cold out. I'm already freezing. I'm going to hope to find a hacksaw. And then, maybe regardless of whether or not I find a hacksaw, I'm going to head over to Ash Canyon and try to get the technical, I always confuse that. I'm going to try to get the technical backpack very early. I like getting well fed and the technical backpack, both of them, as early as possible. There's a potential moose spawn here. I'll note that later when I'm not freezing to death. In reality, I'll just forget. So this path will eventually let out at Crystal Lake, and then the Mountaineer's Hut will be right in front of me. I generally find that man-made structures are more common at lower altitude. Let me start over. Hello, welcome. My name's Ed. We're starting an Interloper playthrough. I find that man-made structures tend to be more common at lower elevations, but I don't actually know that for a fact. I'd be interested in whether or not anyone knows the answer to that question, right? Are there more man-made structures at lower elevations than there are at higher elevations? Of course, it depends on the region's elevation. So when I mean lower elevation, that's not strictly correct. I mean something like closer to sea level. And in my experience, that's the case, but I could just be biased, I could be selective, I don't know. It does make some degree of sense. You know, human civilizations tend to be located on water. And so it makes sense that there would be more structures at sea level. But of course, this is a video game, so who knows? It's also a video game that quite famously doesn't go out of its way to be realistic. You know, to some extent it's realistic, but it's always gameplay first. You know, in reality, wolves wouldn't generally attack humans. Solo, at least. But in this game, they do, because that's more fun. So I'm going to check out that little fishing hut. I can afford that right now. I have frostbite risk, but it's not that bad yet. So I'm going to go check in there. There can be a heavy hammer in there, which would be great. There's a wolf over there. I pick up stones early on so that I can have some defense against wolves. And then later I'll just keep a few of them, like 3 stones or something is usually sufficient. But early on, I want to have enough stones to chuck a lot of stones, just in case I miss. Alright, let's see what's in this little hut. There's usually gloves, or at least I've found gloves in here a lot. Oh nice, it's early in the day. And like I said, there can be a hammer. It doesn't look like there is one right now. The hammer is usually under this potbelly stove. We got a scrawled message. Have to make the canyon before dark. Howling went all night. Legible writing. Okay. And then I'll take some newsprint. Nice, a storm lantern. I find that here pretty often. I'm gonna pop that hat on immediately. Try to slow down that frostbite risk on my head. Or just alt it, really. Okay, nothing else of value in here. The wind has died down, but I'm still freezing. But hopefully, it'll get a little bit warmer. And I'll be able to get some matches in the Mountaineer's hut. And then start preparing for Ash Canyon. I'll probably need to come out here and collect more sticks. I don't think I've actually collected very many. Oh, but there is firewood in there next to the fireplace, so I actually don't need that many sticks for the short term. Mountaineering rope. Don't need it, but I'll put it up here. It's basically just a tradition at this point. This is frequently here. I wonder if it's always here. Let's see. I'm going to leave this here because I want to read it, but I want to get a fire going before I read it. It's a longer one, but I like it. And then, let's see. Yep, that's often here. I don't know the loot tables, but I'm thinking this is a loot table that I am familiar with. Matches. Field dressing your kill, some dog food. Let's get a fire going before I deal with anything else. Yep, looks good to me. Yeah, I'll throw a coal in there. I'll get more coal anyway. And that'll help keep me up faster. Throw a couple of these in here because I want to grab a bunch of torches before I go anyway, so the extra duration won't go to waste. Start making some water. And now we can read these. Corpse with computer found. These coordinates. Can't be local. Pitiable. Okay. Alright. And then I didn't check this medicine cabinet. Or medicine kit. First aid kit. Sewing kit. That's empty. Am I still warm here? Yeah. So I like this one. Climber's Journal page, September 5th. Arrived at the base of Timberwolf Mountain. Looks like there are some nice cracks, just like Clive said. Going to set up a top rope and do some bouldering until the others show up, hopefully soon. September 6th, wondering if my friends got lost as they still haven't arrived. Woke up in the night to a deafening noise and fire on the mountain. Went to check it out, but the weather got nasty and I couldn't find my way. September 7th, clear day. I went out again, found some metal cargo crates. They look like they might have come from a plane. There's still smoke coming from the summit. I'm heading out to see if I can make it to the peak and learn more about what's going on. There's usually a corpse in a cave at the peak, so I wonder if that's this guy. Do not go climbing alone. Even though you could boulder without people, you can easily shatter an ankle or get really hurt in a number of other ways. Even if you're being careful, accidents just happen. Don't go rock climbing alone. It's more fun with a friend anyway. I should have grabbed some charcoal. Yep. Alright, so let me at least hop out over here, grab some more food for the trip, and maybe some more sticks. Now that I have fire, I don't really have to care about this wolf. I'm going to try to load up on torches. I'd like to go really soon. If I can make it by nightfall to the angler's cabin, angler's den, is that what it's called? I would love to make it to the angler's den. There's more matches there. There's usually some okay loot there. Usually simple or basic tools. I should get more torches than just this one if I'm planning on going straight past that wolf, which I am planning on doing. But really right now I'm just waiting for water. I just want to make some water before I get moving. I don't have to care if this torch goes out. Since I have my fire going, I can just pull more torches. Harvest this one for a stick. It's fine. Alright. That's probably fine. I'll take some firewood with me too. At the beginning of this journey, I'm going to be relatively light, so it's not a big deal to be carrying some extra stuff on the way. Alright, we got some water. I'm going to make a little bit more. And let's see. I can't make anything. That's just fire-hardened arrows. Alright. Do I want to move anything around? No, I think I'm quite comfortable with this. Can I make a bigger bed? Here's what I'll do. There we go. That's nice. Nice and cozy. I love the new base building, and even for simple reasons. Alright, so there's not much I can do right now. I would love to get... Oh, I need to put that on. I would love to have gloves, but I don't have any cloth to make those. Let me harvest this. I'll refill my lantern, and maybe I'll grab some more cattails, but I don't think so, because I'm just getting cold, and I'd rather just get warm instead. I don't know. That was a left click. What's going on here? Oh, I'm still in I'm still in base building mode. Okay, so let's just wait. Take it. I think the gallon of water is going to have to do till anglers. I really want to get out of here, so I'm just going to go. Let me also take this wood. What am I looking at? 14 kilograms, no problem. I'm going to take all the torches, even the bad ones. I'm not weighed down by anything right now. These are some pretty good torches, though. We have a long journey. I'd love if this fire would get me all the way to Anglers. That'd be great. Oh, I see some food behind that crate over there, so I'll grab that too. So we have some dog food, we have some beef jerky. It looks like maybe there's more beef jerky back there, or maybe chips or something. And hopefully there's a hacksaw at the summit, but I might not have the energy to go to the summit anyway. We'll see. Yep, just more torches. Keep going. How am I looking? Yeah, that's no problem. One more after... That one's rough. I almost do want to get rid of that one. And let's grab this. And we're off. We got good weather. I would love to sleep, because that might be a problem later. But I don't want to wait until the weather gets terrible to get moving and then end up being stuck at Mountaineer's Hut. There are worse places to be stuck, especially later in the game, but right now, that place is not warm without an active fire, and it's not feasible for me to just keep a fire going. It is, I guess, I could just stop and get more sticks. There's plenty of sticks around here, but I don't really want to spend time doing that. Okay, so let me explain some things. So, hi, my name's Ed. I had an Interloper series on this channel. I guess I still do. I haven't really decided what to do with it. And it was my first thing I did on YouTube. And I was completely new to recording and editing. As a consequence, the first few episodes were of very poor visual and auditory quality. They really didn't look or sound good at all. It was actually only a few episodes... It was a few episodes before I learned to even separate my voice track from my gameplay. So there was only so much I could even do with those recordings. Like, I can't just go back and pull those things apart. At least, as far as I know. Resolution was terrible. I committed all sorts of other technical mistakes, and I learned a lot from it. So that playthrough ended up in a good place. I'm happy with the quality of my visual stuff and my my audio now. There's always room for improvement, obviously, but I think a lot of it's going to come from just practice at this point and incremental changes and any advice you guys have for me. But my concern was that if people see that playthrough, they might want to go to part 1, and then they're going to go to part 1, and it's just going to look and sound terrible. So my daughter actually recommended to me that I just start a new Interloper playthrough. She just said, hey, why don't you start a new one now that it looks and sounds good? And that way, if people go to part 1 of your playthrough, they'll have a nice first impression, and they can decide based on the content, you know, whether or not they enjoy it and want to continue the series. And I thought that was a very good idea. Bear over there, gonna avoid him. I'll mark that in the journal too if I don't forget it. That there's a bear right over here by these peaks. It's a little close. I'm not too worried about him though. I'm gonna put some distance between us. I have some fire. Yeah, there's cover between us too. It's fine. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing. I'm starting this new Interloper playthrough so that I can have a more or less consistent production quality. You know, nobody wants to watch something that looks terrible. So I'm excited for that. I'm also going to try to be much more consistent with this playthrough. Now that I've got a lot of the headaches worked out with this process, I'm hoping that I can record and upload more frequently because I can record and upload more easily. So while we're on this little hike, let me tell you about the plan for this playthrough. So right now, the short-term plan is to head over to Ash Canyon. And in Ash Canyon, there's a gold mine. And up at that gold mine, there is an item called the Technical Backpack, and the Technical Backpack adds 5 kilograms to your max carry weight. I also plan on gaining and maintaining a buff called Well Fed as early as possible. You get that by keeping your calories above 0. So that meter on the bottom left, the rightmost meter for hunger. Keep that out of the red for 72 hours. That gives you another 5 kilogram carry buff, bringing you to 40 kilogram. And later on in the mid-game, you'll want to make a moose hide satchel for another 5 kilograms, bringing you up to 45 kilograms. You start with 30, so that's a whole 50% buff. I love that. I want to get that stuff as soon as possible, and this backpack is step 1. Since I'm so close to Ash Canyon, it's right through this cave, I like to get it immediately when I spawn in Timberwolf Mountain. I hope there's no wind on this side. Okay, well, I might not know until I'm out of this chasm. Okay, so after that, I'm going to travel around. I'm going to go from Timberwolf Mountain, Pleasant Valley. I'm going to see if I can get some clothes there. I'm going to do some looting there. I like that region. And from Pleasant Valley, I'm going to head probably to Coastal Highway, maybe Mystery Lake. We'll see, depending on what I have and what I need. You know what? I'm going to just go down this. I'm sure I can. I'm not too worried about my health. I'm just going to get to Angler's Den, and I'll recover there. Yeah, no problem. So then I'll do the standard early game stuff, right? I will travel around until I find a hacksaw and a hammer, and I'll collect whatever hides I can collect, and I'll collect saplings. Preferably, I would get 5 maple saplings before heading over to the forge, because I like to make a survival bow and a travois. The travois is really great for hunting. That's what I like it for. Let's see. Oh, what's that little cabin up there? Have I, is that the... Is that Miner's Folly? Can you see it from here? Huh. I'm so infrequently in this region during good weather. Just by happenstance. That's cool. I don't know how to get up there. Probably Miner's Folly. I don't know. So I believe Angler's Den is to the right. Could be mistaken. I haven't been out here in a while. So anyway, that's the sort of standard early game stuff and the path I'm going to take. I'm going to go Timberwolf Mountain, Ash Canyon. I'm going to try to go to the summit in Timberwolf Mountain. I'm going to hope for a hacksaw. We'll see. I often don't have enough rest to do that, but I'm going to try. And then Pleasant Valley, Mystery Lake, Coastal Highway, that stuff, until I'm ready to forge. That's the plan. And then in the long term, I want to do the Tales. I'll probably start with Buried Memories. Nope, it's not to the right here, is it? No. This isn't it. Right? No. It's to the left. Yeah. I bet I can get to it through there. Ooh, it scared me. Okay. Hang on, buddy. This is the torch trick for anyone unfamiliar. Wow, right at me, huh? Okay. If you drop a torch and then aim any weapon, they will charge you and then run away. I wish they wouldn't run away directly in my path, but that's fine, I guess. I'm getting pretty cold. I might start a fire, actually. I mean, the weather's okay for it, so let's do that. It won't approach me so long as I have this fire, and so long as I don't approach it. Buddy, I'm not loving your attitude. I'm not loving your attitude. Come here. Yeah, I know you don't like it. Alright, let's just throw a coal on here. A couple sticks. And warm up for just a minute. Yeah. Okay, so late game, I want to head out to the far territories, and I want to do all that stuff. I want to get through Sundered Pass. I haven't done that region yet, and I'm very excited to do so. So, I'm looking forward to all that stuff, and hopefully I'll be able to do that in this playthrough. At the end of the day, I would love to do... you know what, why don't I just make water and I'll wait it out. Weather might be turning a bit. Let me take a torch, bring some water, and get going. I actually think Angler's Den is this way, because I think the first time in the last playthrough, in the first episode, if you go watch that, again, warning about the visual and auditory quality, but if you watch it, I was going to go this way, and then I turned around because there was a moose in my way, and so I went left instead, and I recall that taking quite some time and not being as direct as I had hoped. So I think this is the faster route. Both of them will get you to Angler's Den, but I think going through the left goes through another chasm, and there's some wolves there. So I would love to do all the DLC stuff. I'd love to find the Polaroid camera. I don't know if they said they're going to possibly change its location, and so we'll see. I don't know if they've already done that, but as far as I'm aware, they have not. So we'll see how that goes. I know there's woodworkers tools in a bunch of different places, and that's really cool for base building stuff, so we'll see. There's a lot in this game that I have experienced. I've been playing this game for a long time. I started back when it came out in 2014, and then when Interloper was out, I learned a lot through Interloper. I'm a very stubborn person in some ways. I try not to be stubborn with other people, but when it comes to my own endeavors, I will beat my head against a wall until I get the result I want. I find that entertaining. A lot of the time, anyway. Even if sometimes it can be frustrating, I like that sort of thing sometimes. So, but nonetheless, the game has evolved so much over the years, and there's so much that I either haven't done at all or have only engaged with superficially. For example, I've never on one file survived 500 days. It's not that my files that I just die or something. I actually think the early game is very difficult, possibly the most difficult. Obviously, you can die at any time. Interloper isn't a joke. You usually die from overconfidence. But usually I end up at 100 days or so, and then I get bored. Or I just fall out of the game. I fall out of play, and I start, I play other games, or I get caught up with work, or whatever. And I just never actually get there. And then when I come back to the game, I'm like, oh, do I start this 120-day file that I don't remember anything about, or do I just start a new file? Frankly, the early game is one of my favorite parts. But now there's so much to do in the game, and putting it on YouTube, recording it for YouTube, and trying to be consistent about that, I think that'll keep me in it, and it'll help me explore all sorts of things and really enjoy it, and hopefully get to 500 days. We'll see. So the Angler's Den is right there. So we're going to stop in, we're going to start a fire. Going to keep this torch going for a little bit. I don't think I want to push through any farther tonight, because the next bed, the next guaranteed bed, I think is in the gold mine, and that's quite a journey. And I need to get some health back for that, especially if there might be bad weather. I probably have some frostbite risk on my hands, I sure do. And I need to rest. So we'll stop here for the night. There's often a flare over here, maybe always, I don't know. I very seldom know if there's always something. So if I say very often, just know, maybe it's always. If I say always, I'm usually pretty confident about it, but I could be wrong. Alright, scrap metal, I want it. Reclaimed wood, I'll take it. Let's get this going. Yes, good. Saw some matches, but we'll deal with that in a second. I'll take some charcoal. And let's get some fire going. Warm up a little bit more, but more importantly, try to keep this fire alive. Now, it's not the worst case scenario if this fire goes out. This interior space is warm regardless. And the bed will provide me with some additional... Nope, that's going to be a lot of torches. Will provide me with some additional warmth, so I'm not worried about that. And I like to conserve matches when possible, but especially early game, when I am very mission-oriented, right? I'm trying to get something done right now. If I gotta use some matches, I gotta use some matches. I don't really care, especially since I have the matches from Timberwolf Mountain, Mountaineer's Hut, and there's more right there on screen, and sometimes there's another pack of matches in here. So, we're good. Okay. But Astrid, on the other hand, is perhaps not so good at starting this fire. So, sometimes I like starting with Fire Starter, because it starts you at level 3 Fire Starting, where you no longer need Tinder, but your chances of success are also increased. Wow, that was like, what, 5 attempts? But you eventually outgrow it. You know, eventually you'll have level 3 Fire Starting, and then you basically have a dead feat. So, we'll just deal with some of these whiffs early on. It's fine. Ah. Really? 60%? I know that these random number generators, you know, it's indistinguishable from being not random. But damn. Okay, that one's gotta work, right? Okay, I was afraid I jinxed it. Let's put this out. Or actually, you know what? While I loot, I'll keep a torch lit. But let me throw some firewood in here. That's heavy. I don't really want to be carrying it around. And let's make a lot of water. Just in case. I don't want this to go out before the water boils. Okay, so we have some more wood matches. Great, 12 of them. Got a crate. Got some Polaroid film, or Fast Film 500. Probably won't use that for a while, but I'm glad to have it. Some sardines, some dog food, cooking oil. What do we got here? Just about run out of excuses for keeping my mouth shut. Those miners might look down on me now, but if they keep on digging like they are, too deep if you ask me. Much too deep. Drums in the deep. Alright. Oh, more matches. So that's where... That's guaranteed. The matches right here. And then sometimes there's matches in this crate like there was, or on this workbench. Here's some simple tools. I'll take those with me. Couple arrowheads, usually there. Come on, clothing. Yes, that's what I needed. Okay. So now frostbite isn't a concern. Where's my torch? What is going on here? That was a weird little glitch. Ah. Okay. Let's check this out. Take a book, because that gives you a higher chance of success starting a fire. Could have used that a minute ago. Rifle firearm skill, I'll take it, just in case I ever want to level that for some reason. The only way to level it in Interloper is through those skill books, because there are no rifles. No rifle ammo. Alright, I need to rest. Need to get my health back. First I need to get some food. Alright, what's the food situation? That's not awesome. But I have tons of cattail stalks. I have 50 of them, so... let's eat these. There's a new YouTuber. As far as I know, he's new. Maybe I'm mistaken. I'm sorry if I get any of this wrong. Who recently released a series of guides on the Long Dark named Stars. And his stuff was really... it's really cool. It's really informative. And I felt a little vindicated because I've always thought of cattail stalks as one of the best foods. But a lot of people will happily argue that. I think early game, they just help so much. They're so easy to collect depending on your region. They're lightweight. They're relatively calorie dense. So they're great. And he agrees with that. But he really went through all the food items and ranked them. For travel, specifically. Yeah, it was a great video, and he's come out with a bunch of other videos. I haven't watched them yet, but I look forward to doing so. I bet I will enjoy them. He is very to the point, at least from that one video, and I really enjoyed that stuff. I'm looking forward to more content from him. So, if you're interested in that sort of stuff, if you're interested in learning more about this game, I highly recommend checking his stuff out. Okay, so I don't want to sleep right now. But I hate not multitasking. So what can I get done right now? I can prepare some rose hips. Let's do that. I want to be really tired before I rest, because I want to sleep for 10 hours, if possible. First 8 hours that you sleep, you gain a certain percentage of health back per hour. I don't remember what it is. I think it's like 3 or something. Could be totally wrong. The 9th hour, you gain way more health. And then the 10th hour, you gain even more. So if you want to gain a lot of your health back, and I do, I'm at about 50%, you really want to sleep 10 hours. 10's the magic number in Interloper, because you can't gain health back, for the most part, if any of your meters are empty. And your hydration meter will empty in 10 hours of sleeping. So that's the most you can get on this difficulty mode. I want to save these cans. Is there anything else I can do? I guess I'll make some tinder plugs out of newsprint. Alright. Let's get this water. Let's take this. I don't think I'm going to try to keep this going, actually, now that I think about it. I think what I'll do is I'll just put on a little bit more water. Or actually, I'll make some tea. And I will go out and just gather some more food for the journey. And that'll also tire me out a little bit. And then I'll be ready to sleep. And I'm going to go over this way, because in the morning, I'm going to go out here. So right now, so I can get all the cattails in that direction, or at least a bunch of them, in the morning. But I don't plan on coming this way again, so I'll grab all this stuff now. I don't think I need these heads anymore. Yeah, I have 41. That's plenty. I'm just going to take the stalks. So I'm on PC, and just so you know, on PC, how you take the item is with a left click, and how you drop it is with a right click. And so with these things, I just left click, right click very quickly, because if I wait, then look, I just put that torch down. And then you have to wait a second to pull the torch back up before you can interact with another item. If you do it quickly, see the torch stays in my hand. Don't put it down. Well, that wasn't fast enough. But, see? And so you can interact with items a little bit faster if you do it that way. Grab some sticks. Never have too many sticks. If you're overweight with sticks, you can always drop them. But it's better to have them and not need them than to need them and not have them. So, pick up sticks, especially early game, before you have a bunch of fuel amassed at a base or anything. Early game, you really don't want to be hunkering down. I received some really great feedback on the guide I made recently, and I really do appreciate it. I'm not sure if the person would want me to say their name or anything, so I'm not going to. They're welcome to comment if they want to. But one thing to be made very clear about the early game in Interloper is you don't want to settle down. You gotta keep moving in order to find matches, a hacksaw, and a hammer, and start collecting all the resources you need to get into the mid-game. And so it's important to find shelter so that you can stay warm and so that you can rest and so that you can find loot. But you don't want to stay anywhere, right? Once I'm done resting and once I'm all warmed up and all that stuff, I'm out of here. Alright, let me grab that rosehip tea. Maybe cook a little bit more while this fire is going. At least use it for that. And how's the food situation now? 45. And the water's pretty good. I'll drink that in a minute. Anything I don't need already? I doubt that. Yeah, I mean, I don't really need this. That's about it. Let's just harvest these while that tea cooks. Late game, there's kind of an exploit where when you have level 5 fire starting, a stick will provide more than 10 minutes of duration on a fire, but pulling a torch only removes 10 minutes. And so you can actually pull torches and harvest them and basically have an infinite fire. I think that's how it works. I've never done that. It sounds a little cheesy to me. If you want to do it, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. I've just never been in a position where, like, that's an important thing for me to make use of. I've never had to. I've never chosen to. And that means I don't entirely know how it works, but I think that's how it works. Which is kind of strange. I feel like that is certainly unintended, but not a big deal. There's lots of weird little quirks in this game, and it's kind of what makes the game... kind of what gives the game a personality, you know? I don't want to take that skull for safekeeping, you know? I can't be carrying that around with me right now, though. I can always come back. Okay, so let me go to the journal. Let me go to the general notes. I'm going to say bear. And we're going to go with Timberwolf Mountain, Echo Point Cave, whatever that's called. And we're going to say moose. And that is Timberwolf Mountain near the spawn. I don't know what that's called. I'm just going to say rope climb and figure it out later. And there's also one here in Ash Canyon near the the Twin Falls, I think. I thought I saw some moose markings there. Let me do this. Say this. Okay, I'll take that tea, and I think I'll be able to sleep 10 hours now. So let's do that. Let's drink some water. I have plenty of... It's already out. I want to make more water. Here's what I'll do. I'll do 2 hours. Take this. And I will make 2 gallons. And this will be enough to cook it, but not enough to burn it. And I'm just going to go to sleep with this water cooking, and I'll pick it up in the morning. So now I'm going to drink. And then I'm going to sleep 10 hours and see how much health I can get back. See, that's 675 calories burned, but I have 1,800. And that water will last me 10 hours. Alright, I gained a lot of my health back. It's night. Here's a cool little cheesy thing that I do kind of like. The base building gives you night vision. I kind of like it. I feel like it's like navigating your environment through touch or something like that. I don't know how I would know that skull is up there. It's a little cheesy. But I'm just putting it up for you guys to have something to look at, not just a black screen. So I'm going to call it here for the first episode. These episodes might end up being a little shorter than my old ones. The whole point is to get this stuff out consistently. So I'm going to record when I can. I'm going to try to find some natural stopping points, like right here, before we go out onto our journey to the Ash Canyon gold mine to get the technical backpack. Thank you for joining me this time. I hope you'll join me next time. I look forward to going on this journey together. Please leave a like and a comment. I would love to know about your experience with Interloper and what it is you look for in an Interloper Let's Play. I'm happy to take feedback and go on this journey with you. If you want to see the next episode, please consider subscribing and enabling notifications. And until next time, good luck out there and strive to survive. Have a good one. Bye-bye.